Yet. Okay, there we go. Hello, Glass Masquerades. Like I said, I've played a bit of this. The gameplay videos are up. Obviously, we visited. Where's my mouse? A couple of countries from doing the things. A couple of exhibits. So it's literally a puzzle game. Literally building clocks and puzzles. So I'm gonna go to Ireland and let's see how we can do the demo. Halloween demo. Okay. Right, so let's play this. So you build clocks from puzzles and fancy little things. It's a hard game, and I think it also rotates, so we don't need to necessarily worry about that. That piece doesn't seem to go there. Okay, right. These key pieces, you can see where there's circles on the bottom. They're like key pieces to find and attach it to. If there's a rotate button, I do forget. Okay. But that really helps. So it's like corners essentially. But if you don't have corners on fancy things like this, of course there won't be corners. You've got to try and figure out where they might sit. He might sit on the bottom. He looks like he'd sort of sit on the bottom. And it's an interesting twist on the puzzle, really. So it's like a fancy monument sort of thing, and you've got times to do it. With the curve here, obviously we can sort of tell. And I had forgot that initially, which is why I was trying to place it where it wasn't on a pivotal point, but you can sort of get the idea, and then you can somehow spin this around. I don't know how again. Right, so that one is going to definitely sit there, you'd think. Maybe not. Okay, how do I rotate this? Right click. Okay, so right click to spin that wheel around. There's got to be another pivotal point. Am I not missing any? Okay, right, let's go. This does not look like it attaches to anything, so it's a lot harder than you might think with all these shards of puzzle pieces to try and figure out where things might actually sit. So, trying to find a key piece that would actually fit into anything that you've already got, whilst looking at the design and also the location. Right, that's nowhere. This will sit in here, maybe? No. That is not the same sort of hole. So trying to find... No, I'm right clicking to spin this. The things that fit into the holes in the right places is a lot easier said than done. Okay, that spins round. The bottom piece though. I was going to say that should be a piece that I can find aside because it's a wall. And if you find the walls, then obviously you can start going from there. No, you're not fitting in any of these. I don't think it fits in there. It's definitely not there. I thought that might be a wall piece, but again, it's not. This one may well be. Yeah, okay. You should be easy to figure out. And then once you've got a few of these pieces, you can sort of start figuring out where everything else fits. You're not going to sit through there. It's a Halloween one because of the pumpkin. Okay, I see. That was a very lucky given thing there. I really didn't deserve that. That you don't fit there. I feel like you might sit over there somewhere. Hang on, which piece was that? Wasn't that, but I feel like you might actually sit in there. That's not anywhere. Is it you? No, but again, we might be able to guess where some of these go. It's not as easy as you might think with these puzzles. Also, chat is up. Okay, I sent a picture to say how to get. Feel free to say hello. Hello, Dex. Yes, your picture was actually very helpful. It was because of your picture that I figured out how to get out. So I am now free thanks to you. So thank you for the picture help of how to get out. But literally, that was not there when I was looking, when I first clicked on it and I could not get out. I did not have that on there. I was in the middle of live streaming, of course, so it didn't look too closely, but I swear that was not there. That was not there. It's not lies, I tell you. Definitely. I looked. I did not see that. I may be blind, but I'm not lying. I didn't see it 100%. Whether it was in fact there is another thing, but I could swear that it wasn't there. I could not see it anywhere. I have to wonder what a sequel to this would be like, though. Is it just going to be more of the same, or are they going to add anything particularly different to this? Because obviously there's only so far that you can get with puzzles. This is a very difficult puzzle with all of these tiny little shards. They're not the easiest to find where they go. Okay, this is the top piece. The stars. Okay. I must have chose a very difficult one to come back in on. Like, that does not go there. Right, if we can find a circular piece like that, that's definitely not going to go there. That does not feel like it goes anywhere near any of those. The sequel has digital clocks instead. I think that might be a lot easier to solve, to be honest, than these fancy clocks like this, if they were just literally digital LCD clocks. Like, look at these nice fancy glass clocks, and then if the sequel's just digital clocks, like, surely you can figure out where anything goes in that. Like, reconstructing these, like, imagine doing this for a living, just reconstructing shattered glassware like this and trying to figure out where all the pieces go. Have you ever tried reassembling a mug that you broke by accident and didn't drop and shatter and try and get all the pieces to sit together? It's literally impossible. Literally impossible. And, you know, this is not as easy either. Right, surely it's going to be a middle piece. I need some more end pieces, right? Is that an end? That should... It doesn't go there. It looks like it might, but it's not. Okay, any more end pieces? That could be an end piece. Okay, it's not that. It might be that one. There we go. Okay, let's go. But yeah, I saw it on Keymailer, so, you know, obviously the sequel is coming up at some point. But I can't imagine where they would expand from it. Interesting. Where are these pieces? I'm probably not going to be the most entertaining whilst I'm trying to figure out where all these pieces go. Like, trying to concentrate on finding the pieces whilst also talking is not the most easy. Especially when they're tiny little pieces like this. Right, that clearly goes in there. Obviously it's mostly designed for, you know, people to just sit and play, finding all of the pieces themselves, not necessarily a streaming game, but I wanted to stream it and show it off again. That is not going to sit in there. You might sit in there. He doesn't. Half of the face? Okay, that's why it wasn't constructing with the other one that was a whole face. They've literally took his face off and tore it in half. This could be an end. It's not useful in any capacity. Okay. You've also got to look for what holes you have already. This looks like a penis almost. And try and fit those holes. So, you know, that does help a little. But not too much. This doesn't fit in that hole. This might. If it doesn't spin. The fact that they spin is what makes it difficult. You know, if they were orientated the right way around the outside as well, that would be pretty helpful. There we go. Yeah, Dex has his own game as well, so, you know, if you want to talk about that, you're more than welcome to in chat as well. It's a space game! Obviously, we were talking on Discord about dodgy games. I was talking about the Texacists, where I got sent the demo for the Texacists and thought it was going to be updated to the full release. And then someone else was talking about a dodgy space game because Dex's game itself is a space game as well. It's like, don't be talking about dodgy space games near me! And it's like, I wasn't bringing that up, and I hope that the other person wasn't calling your game dodgy, because that wouldn't be very good, would it? Now, I don't know a lot about Dex's game, but apparently he's been going through some difficulties with people and keys being given out and stolen where they're not meant to. These pieces are tiny. They really are. Hello, there we go. That's not that. So once we're starting to get a bit more of the picture, you know, we can start making some progress into getting this, but it's not as easy. Yes, lots of dodgy keys being sold. And that's also why I don't want trading necessarily to be part of the Discord as well, because, you know, these dodgy key sellers, they get all these dodgy keys and then they trade them off with other people and sell them, and, you know, I'm sure that you lose again is not getting them from dodgy sources, but other people would be attracted to the site and the forum and everything, probably with dodgy keys, and they're trading them off rather than selling them as well, because they're trying to palm them off in any ways that they can. And I'm just against that personally as a person, so it's why I don't necessarily want to see all that trading going on as well on the site, because if they're things from the wheel, then it's understandable. You know exactly where they've come from. They're just from the wheel itself. But if people are coming in with keys from other places, like, they could have bought them either dirt cheap off bundles or off dodgy sites or who knows where, and you don't want to really attract that to your site or be associated with that. And I know I've had followers that have been with some dodgy associations that I've literally had to ban because they were trying to do dodgy things around here, and I just can't have that around. So if Yalag wants to get involved with that, that's up to him, but I would suggest that he avoids any involvement that might be anywhere near anything dodgy, because you don't want to get that tied up with and associated with yourself at all. And it's unfortunate that your game had to get associations with people stealing your keys and selling them off and all of that dodginess, because I can't imagine how you come back from that with after all that, that's a hat. Until I put it there, I was like, okay, that's actually a cool looking hat. It's like a weird witch's hat sort of thing, but it's an interesting way of hiding it as well, because until you put it there, you don't know that that's a hat. But I wish you luck with the game as well, and I hope that there's no dodginess now that it's actually released and you've got control of it. I assume you've got full control of everything now, and the dodgy people that were involved are now gone. Far from that. That almost looks like it fits the other side of his face, doesn't it? I'm running out of ideas to where these things go at the moment now. I'm guessing he's going to be wearing some sort of mask. It's the only reason they would cover his face, I would imagine, right? That almost looks like a keyblade. That could sit up there. Nice. Okay, we're making some inroads into this now. Like I said, these aren't the easiest of puzzles, but I guess that's what you want from literally a puzzle game, right? You want literally not just standard puzzle pieces. So they've gone clever about it. They've made it very difficult to tell where anything goes or what you're doing. This does not fit in with anything that I have. A big piece that may sit on the hat. It doesn't. Okay. Anywhere else that this might go? Over here, maybe? Nope. A lion head piece. This, again, could sort of fit with that, but it doesn't. Trying to find these tiny little shards that could fit anywhere. Aha! There we go. Sometimes they don't seem to fit. Sometimes they're slightly bigger than you would expect as well. So that was definitely bigger than I'd expect to fit that hole. But, I guess that's natural as well with shards of things as well. They come slightly bigger than you expect. And, sometimes there's just holes that you can't even fill in reality when you're trying to reassemble something like this. Have you had a good weekend, Dex? Hope you've had a good weekend. And how long has the game been out now? Because obviously I haven't been following that so much. I know that a lot of people on the Discord are all voicing it and involved in the game in some way, but I've had a lot of things to do, so I haven't really had a chance to keep up with that. It's your day off before you explode. Why are you going to explode? 5 days. Okay, so not that long. Do you mean explode into working on the game and, promoting it and all that? Or literally just explode with stress, or what? It definitely looks like it should sort of fit on his head. Brain overloads. I can imagine. I feel you're there. Sometimes just overload with everything that you got to do. And okay, that did fit in that. Again, the shapes that don't quite fit, but then you think, well, it's got to go there, hasn't it? Yeah, brain overload is a bad one. It is a bad one. Okay, we're getting this. We're slowly getting there. Now the pieces are all falling into place, you might say. The lame meme jokes that I make. Sales haven't been the best so far. Well, I guess that's a downside of being an indie game, isn't it? That not a lot of people have heard of. And also, if you had all of those problems with the keys as well. Valve has stopped supporting indies, yeah. With a lot of the stuff that's been going on, I can imagine they've kind of cut back because of a lot of the like shovelware that's been out there as well, and the bad press that they've been getting for that, so they've just sort of taken a back seat to things. But again, I can imagine all the dodgy keys that were sold would have definitely hurt sales, because, you know, your core market's probably already got keys from wherever they're getting them, and that's not going to help sales for definite. You know, that's definitely going to be detrimental to things. Different game. Oh, I thought it was the... Well, I was going to say, I thought it was the same game. I know what you mean. You've changed it as a different game. Serious Online is not serious. Oh, it is a different game. Right, okay. Well, I mean, I guess that also confuses people as well. You know, maybe some of your people don't realise it's a different game. And you might want to get on the publicity train to, you know, make sure... Because when they're similar things... What's that bunny game? I doubt you'd know, but there was a bunny game by Lexoffel or something, and that one, essentially, they made the game, they gave it away on the Humble Bundle a long time ago, and then they stopped supporting that, but essentially remade the same game in a slightly different way, and, you know, they completely abandoned the first game and said it was never completed. And, you know, that kind of made negative press for them. I'm on Operation Annoy the heck out of everyone with my Operation from tomorrow. Well, good luck with that. Let's hope that it works. Maybe you should post on the GMG forums as well. Like, you know, posting on the Discord is one thing, but if you go on the actual main forums, you might get a lot more attention. And, you know, I don't know if it's live on there yet either, but when it becomes live on there, I would definitely suggest... There we go. Definitely suggest starting to maybe publicise on the forums. Well, I don't know if that's, like, against TOS or frowned upon or anything. Okay, I guess we can't rotate that anymore because all the pieces are in play. But I'd recommend, you know, using the forum readers, because there's, like I said, a lot more people in there to market to, that it might be a good idea to get on there. Can't sign up with GMG until Valve makes the sales back. Oof, that's gotta suck. That's gotta suck. Where do you think this little pigeon guy would sit? Not on his head, apparently. But I can understand that from Valve's perspective as well. They would want the sales back first. But again, you know, it's maybe not the most easy thing for you to do, to get all those sales before you can start marketing it, whereas if you could market it elsewhere, well, there's where he sits, now that we've found that. If you could do that, then, you know, you could make some of the sales back, but again, I can understand that they wouldn't be making their cut, so they might... That's a separate wheel, isn't it? That's not the same wheel. Okay, I've literally forgot how to play this, so that... There might be a lot of pieces hiding up there. I assumed it was a proper circle wheel and that it was going to be the same spot. But it's not. This is nowhere near down there. It's not up there. Haven't found where that would go. Right. This could sit on top of here. It does. The rest of the hat. Let's go. Sorry, my hand's starting to hurt. But also, the space game market has been quite saturated lately as well, hasn't it? There's been quite a few different space games. But I'd definitely suggest, like, you know, if you're struggling, and now we've actually got clock fingers moving, make sure that people are knowing that it's a different game when you're marketing it, because a lot of people just might not realise that it's a different game. There are never enough space games. There are quite a few, but like you say, you know, if you're very into the genre, then obviously there's always room for one more. But yeah, make sure that they know it's a different game, because they just might not realise that it's a completely different game. AOFA is unique with the story and Twitch integration. That's another big marketing point that you can use with the Twitch integration. Like, a lot of people are really into the Twitch integration things these days, so if you make sure that people know that it's got Twitch integration, that could also get you some extra sales, I would suggest, because, you know, a lot of streamers are literally looking for just things that they can integrate into their streams. So if you've got Twitch integration, it's a big marketing point. So, you know, don't skimp on telling people. Make sure that you're always telling people, like, there's also Twitch integration, and make sure people know what the Twitch integration does. Because obviously I have no idea what your Twitch integration does. Does it bring chat in as NPCs? Does it, I don't know, what other things it could do? You know, characters that you can shoot and blow up, or can they have conversations on the screen with some of the characters as we go along? Where would this go? Wouldn't go up there, wouldn't go there. I'm going to guess it's going to go somewhere around there, but we haven't got the piece yet. See how it all starts to fall into place. Like, the clock can't move unless we've got the pieces in, so it stops time again. It's like, we can move this much forward, but no further. But yeah, it looks an interesting game from the screenshots you showed in the Discords. But, you know, failing that, I know not a lot else behind it. We're going to get this now. Like, all these tiny pieces should start falling into place now that we've got a huge portion of it. We can find where they line up fairly easily, although this piece is still nowhere to be found. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in hearing about the Twitch integration parts, because there's quite a few on my thing once I build up my stream that I would be interested in doing Twitch integration things with. But, you know, until I've got the audience to do it. Sorry, I feel like I need to sneeze, so it's like barely on the cusp of sneezing. I hate it when it's like that. You want to sneeze, but you can't. I wouldn't go in there. That's not in there. It's not up there. Tiny pieces. There we go. We've checked that. It's not that. Why is it not that? That's that one. Wait, no, you definitely go in there. 100%. Also, that looks sort of like a rabbit head. That's got to sit there. There we go. Not in there. I see that fire thing. Where? That's you. There we go. Right, there we go. Perfect. That doesn't sit in there. Doesn't sit in there. Attaches to that jagged edge. Okay, let's go. That's that one. That almost looks like it should fit there. Right, anything with bunny ears, glass. Okay, there we go. Bunny ear lords. Again, it overlapped with the big thing, so interesting. I don't know how long I'm going to play this. I just felt like, you know, bringing it up because of the sequel coming up. I know it's not the most interesting thing to watch, especially when I'm struggling with finding where all these tiny pieces go, but it's a fun game, so, you know, it's worth talking about and showing off. Okay, as we struggle for these final few holes to fill. Right, that's got to go there. Look at that awkward shape there. That's got to be that one. It's not. Okay. Anything else with an awkward dangus on it? It's just that. But that's not that either. Okay. None of these awkward holes. That's got to fill in that one. Okay. Doesn't sit on top of that. That goes. You definitely go in there. No. Okay, that one definitely goes in there. Again, you know, follow the line. You can see that line now. This one fits in there. Okay. Where would you go? You got to just sit there. I knew it. I tried to place you earlier. I guess it didn't have the actual attachments to do it, so it was a bit of a problem. Then it all falls into place as we find the final pieces. So this does not appear to sit anywhere. It's got to go there. And then there's the rest of your face and a spooky, very late Halloween. It's now February. Digital clocks, though. It says it's a demo. Like, you know, I don't know why it's a demo. Right, I'm going to go to Portugal. How hard could that? 3. How hard was that? Oh, it's not even going to tell me. Well, let's go to Portugal, and then I will switch up to another game. You know, we're going for variety streaming today. This one should be a lot easier. Look at the shape of this. Okay, pivotal pieces. You've got to launch off that, clearly. One goes up there. Nope. In that location. Okay. This one clearly off this side. This should be a lot easier because now that we're back in the swing of things, as well as being able to, you know, have an easier puzzle. So that puzzle was maybe the most difficult. I'm guessing it's going to be difficulty 5. Whereas these pieces slot together a lot nicer. There's a lot less mess. Okay. He says, as he then returns to struggling to find pieces that might look like they go together. Oh, it is rotating both sides. I wonder, I must have glitched it the hell out. Like, it stopped rotating around entirely. Okay, that doesn't sit on that, that doesn't sit on that. This may be an end piece, but not there. It's got to go here, maybe? It does. Okay. That's not anywhere. This. Where would you go? Okay. Let's look for one of these corner pieces. Something that's a bit off. With the triangle bit. Could be that. It's not. Okay. Well, that's got to sit up there. Still a piece that we could find. Could be that. That's clearly going to sit in there, though. Okay. More pieces that we lack. That's a corner. Or not. Okay. And the clock starts. What could this be? A boat? I think it's a boat. On the sea. Do you see it yet? The puns with water references. That's not going to be anywhere that we can use. Because look, it sails. Clearly. Don't tell me that doesn't go there. It's a clock. It is a clock. It's definitely a clock. But it's also a clock with a boat picture. I mean, would you ever get a fancy clock like this? I mean, I don't use clocks, But if I was to get a clock, it's got to be a fancy clock like this, right? You got to get a nice, fancy, weird ass clock that no one else has got. And you know, if I was going to get a clock, I would get a huge, super fancy clock like this. You'd get one and smash it. I think you already did. I think I'm rebuilding it because you smashed it, mate. You smashed it, and you did a very effective job at smashing it. And now I've got to rebuild it. Then I get the clock. I mean, that'd be a funny thing, you know. Complete the game, or be the first to complete the game, and you get a fancy clock like this. That would be marketing. That would be marketing. They could have done that, you know. If whoever is the first to complete the game, like from start to film, now you're the unpaid intern to rebuild it. Yeah, literally. It's all experience, don't you know? We won't pay you because you get the experience. You get the joy of doing it, and then you're just there all day, every day doing it, and they're slacking off. And what experience do you get? Paper cuts, except it's actual glass cuts, because it's not paper, it's glass, clearly. Stained glass. And I'm sure that would cut even more. Exposure! But I mean, I'm sure they would claim the credit themselves, though, wouldn't they? They'd be like, I rebuilt this. You know, would your name ever get exposed on it to get the exposure that you'd expect from rebuilding the clock? I don't think so. I think, you know, you'd just be the intern that gets his credit claimed by everyone else. And, you know, having worked a number of jobs where people just claim the credit for all your work. It's not nice, is it, when other people take credit for everything you do? That's there. Okay, where would this go? Well, that's clearly there. See how much easier this clock is than the last one? This billowing sail, I feel like it needs to go somewhere near this. It would be wrong if it didn't. Have you ever had to do any unpaid intern work yourself? I don't know if that's a thing in like games creation as well, where you help out with like game design stuff and then end up not getting like exposure or credit from that, but you're involved in the game in some fashion. Because I feel like that might also apply a lot in the industry, maybe, where you're expecting to get exposure but they don't actually credit you. Okay. And again, figuring out what the thing is, like, because I knew it was a boat, I looked for places where that would sit on as a boat. That doesn't look like it would go anywhere. That's the seas. Okay. I can imagine you getting a ton of key requests. That's probably a big thing. Like the instant any game comes out, is it just through sites, or have people literally hunted you down and emailed you to get that as well? Because I feel like that's maybe a thing that happens less these days, is that people are chasing you down via email, but I could be wrong. You know, with the number of sites that are out there for key requests, I feel like mostly people would be going through those. Direct emails, okay. Well, I mean, you're clearly getting a lot of attention with the game then, if you get a lot of direct emails. It's just unfortunate that it's not translating into sales. But clearly, you know, a lot of people are very interested in the game if they're all chasing you down with these direct emails. They abuse my support email. I can imagine that. Like, if it's your listed email address on the website and, you know, it's the only contactable email, people are begging for hundreds of keys. Oof. Like, that's always a dodgy sign. Like, if someone's asking for multiple keys, like, that's a red flag immediately. It's like, a legitimate person would not be asking for so many keys, especially if they're a relative unknown. Whereas, you know, someone like a key reseller or something like that is probably going to be trying to get as many keys as they can get. And I mean, look at the size of this. This is way bigger than that hole, but it's going in there. That's what she says. You direct them to Z to key mailer, yeah. And again, I bet you rejects their key references the instant they're on there. I see where that goes, actually. Because, you know, I bet that they're not the greatest of key requests. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping to play the Texasis, because obviously they sent me the codes. They chased me down, bear in mind. Should have pointed at the webcam, because I'm going to go off on one. But yeah, they chased me down. I'd never heard of the game before its release. They sent me the offer, and because it looked an interesting game, I accepted it, expecting, because you could download the demo anyway, that you could actually, that you'd get the full game upon release, as well as doing like a bit of pre-release stuff. But when it came to the release date, you just didn't. So, you know, it was dodgy, and I waited until the game came out for it to update, hoping to play it, because, you know, it's a weird typing game, but an interesting one that I would have been interested to cover. But, you know, they've blown it now by not offering the full game, so, you know, it's their loss. It's their loss, honestly. Okay, so that is Portugal done. I'm gonna pivot game. I haven't decided what I'm gonna play, but